All right. Hello, hello. I'm always so excited to come talk to you guys. Let me just turn my notifications off so that we don't get distracted. First of all, if you are new to this group, welcome. We have trainings weekly, and then once a month we do a live business Zoom where you get to ask all of your questions. And today I want to talk about a saying that you probably know, right? A confused mind never buys, except that I want to turn it around to a confused mind never sells. And here's why. I have three new business audits. So, people that have hired me to do a business audit on their account. And I have one new one-to-one client that I just onboarded this week. And they all have the same theme of being confused about number one, who they're talking to, what they're selling, what they'll even sell, how is this going to, like, the whole thing is just confusion. And so it's like, hey, I can do a business audit, but if you're not clear on what you're selling, well, guess what's going to happen, right? Your people are not going to be clear, and so they're not going to buy. So we, as the business owner, and I call you a business owner, just so you know, you are a business owner, you are an entrepreneur. You have raised your hand and said, hey, I want to go on this journey, right? And so now my job is to help you start because you've never started before, just give you the first steps to start, or help you cross over this threshold of like beginning to build your digital business, help you skip mistakes, right? Help you profit faster, all the things that I wish that I had when I was quote unquote struggling. I don't like that word and I don't use it now because it's a choice. But when I was seeing myself as struggling and feeling like I was ready to give up being an entrepreneur after 8 years of trying, and not seeing the success that I wanted, the success that I knew was possible, let me take that back. Your success is possible. The success that you imagine for yourself is possible. Where we get trapped, and I promise we'll go into the training in a minute, but this is important. Where we get trapped in this entrepreneurial journey is looking around at other people, seeing what they have done, seeing how fast they've moved, and then thinking that if we don't move as fast as they did or faster, I don't know why we do that, that we're failing. I didn't know, like I can turn around and look back now and be like, oh, the coaching business that I tried to start in 2017 didn't succeed because I wasn't supposed to succeed at that time. I needed those lessons in order to be here to succeed in this business. Oh, the physical brand that I started with my sister, we weren't able to figure out how to get our brand off the ground. I have sweatshirts and tank tops, yoga and essential oil related in my attic from 2017 when we started that business. But we weren't supposed to succeed there in the way that I thought I was because I had seen other people do it, because I needed the lessons to be able to bring them into my business now. So I can help you skip all of the mistakes that I've made over the past 8 years. I can help you move faster, right? But it is a journey. So all of you who are here, congratulations, you've raised your hand. You want to be on this journey of entrepreneurship. And I will tell you what, it is the absolute best thing I've ever freaking done. Ever freaking done. And now you've probably all heard of the book, The 4 Hour Work Week. Great book. If you haven't read it, read that. I'm also reading a book this week. I'll probably finish it. It's really good. It's the 5 Hour School Week because we homeschool our kids. And I never thought that I would be here. I never thought that I would homeschool my kids. I don't know why. But as soon as I learned about entrepreneurship and I learned about the work system, right? The corporate world, why it was built, how it functions, who created it, and just looking like we were on this hamster wheel of like never ending work until I die, I realized, holy crap, I don't want to do that, which is probably why you are here, right? But then that trickled further into my life, and I was like, oh my gosh, the school system. The school system is what's training these kids to work in the work system, and I think the work system is BS. So if I don't want my kids just learning how to work in the work system, what can I do? Well, I can homeschool them. And it freaks everyone out because people will say to me, I don't know, I could never homeschool my kids. And it's excuses like, I'm not smart enough. Hey, have you heard that excuse before? Have you used that excuse in your business? I'm not an expert in anything. I'm not a teacher. How could I teach someone something? Hopefully you've learned in this group. And if you haven't, that we cancel that out because it's not true. I don't have the time. Guess what? You find the time. If it's really important to you, you find the time, right? I find the time to homeschool my kiddos. I get up a little bit earlier, do my work, and then we spend time homeschooling. So anyway, I'm telling you all of this because this space of entrepreneurship will explode your mind. You will do things you never saw coming. You will do things you never thought possible. You will achieve things that you felt like you should have achieved years ago, but then one day they just arrive and you're like, oh my gosh, like this is why, right? Yeah, as you can tell, I get very excited about this because I love entrepreneurship. I love helping people figure out how to take their knowledge and their wisdom and their life skills and help make an impact with them and be paid handsomely to do that. It is very exciting. So, the reason why I told you all of that is because these students that I had this week, 4 of them, all had the same thing going on. So I thought, well, if these guys have all of this going on, well, then more people must have this going on. So let's talk about it. So if you have, is anyone following? This is going to be unrelatable in months, but right now the Karen Read trial is very, very popular on the news channel. So I don't watch the news, but I definitely scroll TikTok and it is all over my TikTok feed. I'm from Massachusetts originally. That's where I was born. I do not live there anymore, but this Karen Read trial is happening in Massachusetts. It's basically about these police officers are, or what we think is happening is that the girlfriend of a deceased police officer is being blamed for his death, when in reality, what they're trying to prove is that she was framed and these other police officers and other people murdered this man. And so this trial had a mistrial last year and is now back on second trial, and it is mind-blowing. One of the people who said did not have any connection to this guy's death had a Google search, promise this is connecting, had a Google search from her phone. They had all been drinking. So instead of her typing how long to die in the cold, she mistyped how and wrote Hoss, H-O-S, Hoss long to die in cold. She Google searched that at 2 something in the morning. So me following this Karen Read trial, I'm just like, oh my gosh, how have they not, put these people away yet? That's crazy evidence. How have they not convicted these people? It's like an insane trial. So I was thinking, like, how many times have you been up at 2 o'clock in the morning Googling insane things, right? Like, how long to turn my random ideas into a business? Do I need a niche or just stay up all night and drink loads of caffeine the next day? How to make money without becoming an influencer? Like, what are the things that you have literally typed into Google? And I was joking around and saying, like, if anyone got my search history on all of the entrepreneurial things that I have Googled, like maybe you've Googled how to make money with feet pics, right? I think a lot of people have done that. Or, do I even need confidence or do I just need to pay for followers? Like we've all searched some crazy things on Google. Not as crazy as the Karen Read trial, but that's what made me think of this. So if you've searched anything in relation to why am I not growing? How do I make more sales? How do I make sales in general? What niche is the most popular niche? Let's lay it out there so that there is no more confusion and you can just take your ideas and start running with them. Because every single person that I talked to this week is just stuck in this confusion pattern and it gets them nowhere. And we have to exit the hamster wheel of confusion in order to start. So that's what I want to help you do. Okay. So I'm basically going to take what I talk to my private clients about this week and bring it to you guys so that you can grab onto it and know that when you just decide and you make a decision, you will be successful. Okay. So this training is for you if your brain is like a Pinterest board of ideas and you're not sure where to start, or if anything that you have up here, if you're thinking like, is any of it even good? Okay. So a confused mind never buys. I am going to admit that I will go into TJ Maxx if you have a TJ Maxx. Maybe you do this in Target, doesn't matter. TJ Maxx, I will go in there and I'll get a cart and I will start filling up my cart and I'll walk around the whole store and I imagine rooms in my house and I'm like, oh my gosh, this would look so good here. I definitely need this Buddha book stand over here and I could use a new tree and it's fake. So yay, let me put that. And I literally get to the cash register and my cart is full of things, full of ideas on how I'm going to transform my house. But then I start thinking like, you know what? I don't know. This is a lot of stuff. I don't think I need all of it. It's going to take me a lot of time to put it together. Maybe my ideas on what it looks like isn't going to be good. And I literally abandon my cart. I just walk out because I am overwhelmed with the thought of now having to take all these things home and do something with them that I just like can't do it. So a confused mind never buys, proof, but a confused mind also never sells. You have to be so clear on what you're doing and who you're helping so that your potential customer says, "Oh my gosh, that's me. Please help me," right? Which means they buy. Most people don't fail at business because they're bad at business. Truth. They fail because they're unclear on who they help, what they offer, and what problem they solve. You only need to solve one problem for somebody. And I guarantee you right now, if I asked you a series of 3 to 5 questions, we would come up with something that you have trailblazed, that you have triumphed, that you have gone through, that you could help somebody else with and sell it. Most people jump from idea to idea because they're like, well, I tried this for 2 weeks and it's not working. Or they post randomly on social media and then they end up burning out without ever validating what they're selling. Truth be told, if you don't know what you're doing, your audience doesn't know what to do either. Okay. So, have you seen the movie Karate Kid? I hope is that you have. Your your audience is Daniel. Your audience is Daniel. You are Mr. Miyagi. Okay, he's the old guy who's going to teach Daniel his tips and tricks on how to win this fight. But Daniel has already raised his hand. He's raised his hand and said, "I want to go on this journey." Okay, so he's already stepped over the threshold. So if you think about your audience, you're just looking for someone who's already raised their hand to say, "I want to go on this journey." So, for example, you are Daniel for me. I'm Mr. Miyagi. You are Daniel. You have said, "Hey, Gwen, I want to start a business and I want it to be profitable. So I'm going on this journey." And me, Mr. Miyagi, I get to help you. I teach you my tools. I teach you my tips. I teach you how to skip steps that I had to learn, how to, not have these life lessons that took me a long time to figure out. Like, I get to help you cross the threshold with ease. And that is all that you are doing in one area, solving one problem for one demographic. You don't need to be a guru. You don't need to be an expert. You don't need to be 1,000 steps ahead of someone else. You need to be one or two. 1 or 2 steps ahead. That's it. Your ideal customer is likely a version of you 3 to 5 years ago. So if you really want to flesh this out, you're like, okay, where was I 3 to 5 years ago? Just journal it. Where was I 3 to 5 years ago? What year was that? What was I doing? Where was I working? What problems was I having? Was I going through anything? Did I go through something and come out on the other side? Did I achieve something? What is something that you did 3 to 5 years ago? Right there is your life experience that you can now turn around and help a version of you who is coming up to that time period that you've already gone through, and you help them cross the threshold. Okay. Your ideal customer is probably waxing on and waxing off and thinking like, what does this have to do with anything? It feels pointless. You might also feel like, okay, Gwen, I'm waxing on, I'm waxing off. Like, what's the point? Right? But you get to show them why it matters. Your job is to light the path. The path is there. You just put lights on it. And you help them skip confusion and move faster. You help them not navigate a path in the dark. You turn the lights on and you're like, oh my gosh, isn't it so much easier to see the path when there's lights on it? Instead of like doing this and stumbling around and tripping and breaking a leg and right, all the things. That is such a great analogy. You can also think about this as like Waze. If you use Waze for driving, they're deciding, okay, I want to go here. They're already raising their hand and saying, I want to go on a journey. I'm starting. Here's where I'm starting. Here's where I want to go. You are Waze. And you're like, oh, make sure you avoid the pothole on Route 2. Oh, take a left on Green Street. go 90 miles north, right? Turn your headlights on, like your ways. Okay. So let me give you the exact 3-step framework that I use with my clients to help them go from chaos and confusion to clarity. Number 1 and 2, we already did this. Identify a past version of you. What was she struggling with? What problem did she want solved? What did she wish she had at that time? Also, the what. This is number 2, the what. What do you now know that could have helped her? Okay. That means, what have you gone through? What did you learn? What mistakes did you make that could have helped the previous version of you cross that threshold? Okay. You keep it super simple. It could be a PDF, it could be a guide, it could be a checklist. Like, I just want you to know how simple it is to package your stuff up and be able to sell it to the person who needs it. And then the last part is how. 3 is how. You just deliver it. You pick one platform to show up and create content and attract your demographic, which, if you're having trouble with that, that's what Creators Corner is for. Creators Corner is my monthly membership. You can join yearly too. It's friggin' less than $1 a day. Okay. For us to help you craft your messaging and show up in front of your ideal demographic every time, AKA make sales. Okay. We also help you identify who that is. So if you're having trouble, Creators Corner is great for that. I'll put the link under this video so you guys can go look. Okay, so you have your who, identify the past version of you. You have your what, which is the simple solution. And you have your how you're going to deliver it. Okay. You don't need to be the best person in the world. You don't need to be a TEDx speaker. You don't need to be an author. You don't need to have any credentials, no letters behind your name. You just are a human who's gone through a thing that can now turn around and help somebody else go through that thing better. That's it. Okay? So if your brain feels like a junk drawer of business ideas, you are not alone. We've all been there before. Okay, but you don't need a $1 million idea. You don't need to invent something. You just need a clear person to help, who has already raised their hand and said they want to go on the journey, and now you're going to help them. And the journey can be anything. It could be getting their kids to sleep better at night. So it's a mom going, hey, I really want to know how to get my kids to sleep better at night. And you're like, oh my gosh, I went through the 3 years. I struggled for so long. And then I finally found this thing, and this is what's helped. And I told my best friends about it, and they were like, oh my gosh, that's really, really helpful. And so you're like, oh, there's probably tons of moms looking for sleep training, help with sleep training their baby. Maybe I should package that up into an offer and sell it. So it doesn't matter what it is. You just need a clear person to help, and a simple way to help them. We solve one problem for one demographic. You right here, you've already stepped onto the mat, Daniel, son. You've already stepped into the mat. You might as well get your business black belt, right? But we don't get a black belt just one day. We got to start showing up and doing the things, but we can't show up and do the things if we don't know where we're going, which means we have to have clarity about what that looks like. Okay. If you haven't yet watched my free masterclass, this is literally what I help you walk through, is how to come up with your idea. If you haven't done that yet, I will also put that link below the video. You guys can grab that. It is so helpful, and it is not hard, but it is the pop of pop, lock, and profit. And without pop, you just have lock and profit, and that doesn't work. You need to pop, lock, and profit. Okay, you need all 3 steps in order to create a successful and profitable online business. So I'll put that information below for you. If this resonated, please let me know. If you have questions about any of this info, please let me know. I will share Creators Corner with you. I will share my masterclass with you, and you guys are ready to rock and roll. Okay, I love you so much. I'll talk to you later.